Yeah, I'd spin, but we have 3 idiots on holds yet. Yeah, that definitely does sound right. So, alright, hello everybody! It's time to read some more! We're back in the good old universe of Lone Wolf, and yeah, this time we're gonna kick ass and take names into Book 3. Good old Cavern of Kalte. Yeah, what is this? This is exactly what you think it is. It's time to play good old, well, not Dungeons and Dragons, but we're close to that. It's a good old series of game book, and yeah, we're going to play all of this. Yeah, people are finally running out of points. I win! Yeah! Okay, alright. Anyway, might as well. Yeah, it's a different it's a different series. I'd say, in the end, this is probably the one that ended up, you know, beating the test of time and everything. Oh, spin, you say? Ha! Why, thank you, Killer MC. Yeah, at that point, MC's gonna do all the spins. So, alright, let's see what we got before we actually start. Oh no, Killer MC's game over again! Oh no! Oh no! The humanity! Sadly, I cannot time Killer MC out because I'll have to remod him. Oh, alright, and another spin by Undead Scooby. Oh, and another spin! And another spin! Everybody gets a spin, alright. Yeah, because then I'm gonna have to do 2 different clicks. It's like, that's way too many. So sorry, too bad, Undead Scooby. Oh no, it's Joke Boat! Nah, they don't disappear anymore because people were winning way too easily. So, alright, at that point, I mean 2 Joke Boat, 3 idiots, and 1 Quiplash, alright. More Lone Wolf and more wheel spinning! Hell yeah! Oh, alright, Doomcup! It's your lucky day. What do you want to see on the next Jackbox stream? Apart from, of course, Zeeple Dome. Yeah, it's still 4 spins per stream cap. Okay. Oh, TKO. Alright, perfect. I'm totally fine with that. Alright, with that said, it is time to actually start. So yeah, just to put everything into context, yeah, fuck it. We're going to read the good old the story so far, just in order to make it so that everybody is gonna be up to speed at the same time. In the northern land of Summerlund, it has been the custom for many centuries to send the children of the warrior lords to the monastery of Kai. There they were taught the skills and disciplines of their noble father. You are Lone Wolf, and you are now the last of the warrior lords of Summerlund. 1 year ago, the ancient enemy of your people, the Dark Lords of Vegaden, suddenly invaded Summerlund and completely devastated the Kai Monastery. All of the Kai warriors were in attendance for the Feast of Femarn, and all except you were massacred. You fought your way to Holmgard, the capital of your country, where the king sent you upon a desperate quest for help. Your mission was fraught with great danger, for Summerlund had been betrayed by one of its own magicians, Vonotar the Traitor. His agents sought to kill you at every opportunity, but your skill and strength defeated their evil aim. You returned to Holmgard at the head of a giant fleet, the allies of Duranord, and destroyed the Dark Lord army that besieged your capital. Much of Summerlund was ruined by the war. The rich farmland were laid waste and many towns were razed to the ground. But the Sumlending are tough people and were undaunted by the enormous task that lay ahead. They set about the rebuilding of war-torn Summerlone with such determination that now, 1 year later, few of the scars of war remain visible. But a crucial part that you played in the victory, the king has bestowed upon you the rank and title of Freiherr of Summerlone, a rare honor for one so young. The ruins of the Kai Monastery and much of the surrounding lands are now Freilund under your protection. Work to rebuild the monastery was about to commence when disturbing news from the north prompted the king to summon you to the capital. Yeah, Joe Denver, the warrior of Colorado. Yep, that's totally what it is. Many merchants returning from the summer trading expedition to Kalte told of the fall of the Brumalmark, the leader of the highest barbarians. Description of the hunchback magician who had succeeded the fierce Brumalmark fits only one man, Vonotar the traitor. After the defeat of the Dark Lords, Vonotar escaped to the frozen waste of Kalte. He made his way to the highest fortress of Ikayo, where, through deception, he tricked the cruel Brumalmark into adopting him as his magician. It was a mistake that was to cost the barbarian leader his fortress and his life. The news that Vonotar still lives spread like wildfire throughout Summerlone. Thousands of Sumlendings surround the capital and demand that Vonotar be made to pay for his treachery. So great is the outcry that the king is obligated to promise that the evil traitor will be brought back to Homeguard and made to stand trial for his crimes. For you, Lone Wolf, the king's promise is the start of a quest that will pit you against a hated foe deep within the hostile cavern of Kalte. So, yeah, we might as well just do a quick catching up of everything. Combat skill is essentially all about how good we are at fighting. 17 is our base value and 27 is how much actual combat skill we have with our weapons as well than a special item. An endurance point represents how much abuse we can take until we die. And here, that's how much we died. We died 4 times in book 1 and only 1 in book 2. I'm proud of everyone. And hey, Kai Lords are kind of like people that are good at a whole lot of stuff. So, yeah, essentially, I'll just tell you really quick what all of this is good at. Tracking is the ability that allow us to not be lost into places and figure out what tracks are and everything underground. Healing allows us to restore our endurance points whenever we're not in battle. This allows us to talk to animals as well and understand what they want. Mind over matter is the ability to move small objects with the power of our mind. Weapon skill is the ability to use a warhammer properly. Oh boy, this is great. Mind Shield is the ability to protect ourselves from psychic attack, and Sixth Sense is literally the ability to guess the true intentions of some people or some objects. So yeah, that might actually come in handy. So yeah, before we actually start, we need to actually, get ourselves some equipment for all of this. Yep. You're escorted to the city hall and equipped with special winter boots, a tunic, a fur-lined cloak, and mittens. You're given a map of Kalte, which is right over there. At this point, I'm just gonna make sure that my scene changes are occurring just as well. Okay, they do. So yeah, this is what our adventure is gonna look like. The good old land of the frozen and the fuckos. Okay, and we also got money, so pick a number from the random number table in order to figure out how rich are we actually. So, right, random number table, it is time. Okay, 5 plus 10 equal... Okay, we actually get 15 gold. So, alright, for once we actually, don't have a cheap steak. Oh yeah, also we don't have any money. I don't know what happened to it, but hey, it sure happened. Okay, before you set to sail, You're also given the choice of the following item. You may take any two of the following. Alright, we take a sword, a short sword, a padded leather waistcoat, which gives us 2 extra endurance points, a spear, a mace, warhammer, axe, a potion of healing that restores 4 endurance points, a quarter staff, 1 meal, or a broadsword. So yeah, we can get to pick 2 of these, and hopefully we're... Oh yeah, that's right, the rat stole it. That's right, I totally forgot that was a thing. So, alright, at this point, I'll assume that people will want us to pick this up, because last time this is what we picked up, but then we fell in water and we had to discard it, because otherwise we were gonna drown. So, hooray! Whoops, no. Face value only, I don't care about your mumbo-jumbo. Yeah, now we actually got a max of 24 HP. And what else are we gonna bring? Yep, we keep the summer sword. It still is in our pocket. We can bring it along for the ride. I mean, you can take the ration, but keep in mind, we already have 4 meals. But on the flip side, I don't really know what else we're gonna pick, because... yeah, nothing really fits well. At that point, I'd say either the meal or the healing potion. So, alright. Alright, how about the potion? Yeah, why not? Alright, let's go. And now we have actually a full backpack, so hey, if we find any kind of item, we're totally gonna have to discard something. So, alright, fur blanket, your days are numbered. So, alright, I think we're all ready to go, so good old wisdom. No, you cannot dual wield. At that point, there is very little point to actually using other weapons. Alright, your mission will be fraught with great danger, for Kalte is a bleak and hostile land, and your foe is a master of cunning. Use the map to help you plot your course through the highest fortress of Ikea. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help in your future adventures. Many things that you find will help you during your adventure. Some special items will be of use in future Lone Wolf adventures, and others may be red herring or no real use at all, so be selective in what you decide to keep. There are many routes to the highest fortress of Ikea, but only one will enable you to capture Vonotar and return to Summerland with the minimum of danger. A wise choice of Kai discipline and a great deal of courage shall enable any player to complete the mission, no matter how weak his initial combat skill or endurance point score. Successful completion of previous Lone Wolf adventure is not essential for the success of this quest, although it never hurt. The betrayal of your country can be avenged by bringing the traitor to justice. Good luck. The highest fortress of Ikea. Okay. You cannot get ye flask! Alright, now it begins. Do we have the right scene? Yes, we do. Perfect. Even before you accepted the task of bringing Vonotar to justice, preparations were being made for your voyage to Kalte. The captain of the Sumlanding warship Cardinal, having returned from a long Kalte sea patrol, was ordered to await your arrival at Caverns. During the night, food, ice equipment, and canoe dog teams were taken on board. The mission was highly secret. Only senior members of the crew were told the true nature of the voyage that lay ahead. The plan is to set you ashore at Hal Bluff, drop anchor, and await your return. An elite team of trusted guides will lead you from the bluff to Ikea. Once inside the heist fortress, you are to hunt down and capture Vonotar, and then return with your guides to the ship. Your mission must be accomplished within 30 days at most, for winter is closing in and no ship can withstand the grip of the Kalte pack ice. If you do not return in time, the captain will be forced to set sail without you. For 6 days, the Cardinal sails across the stormy Kalte Sea without running into a storm, but every day the temperature steadily drops until a layer of ice covers the decks. On the morning of the 7th day, the snow-capped island of Tolo is sighted on the horizon. Soon after, a light wind rises from the east. At first, there appears to be little danger, but within half an hour, a furious blizzard is blowing, and all sight of land quickly vanishes in the scudding drift. All day, the furious gale rages. Tremendous winds slice the tops of the huge gray waves, and water crashes over the deck, mast, and rigging of the ship, freezing almost immediately into solid ice. The sides of the ship become several feet thickened with seawater. It is not until early evening that the weather clears, and although the wind still blows strongly, the force of the gale is spent. You are soon to discover that the gale has blown the ship nearly 30 miles off course along the lip of the Ljuk ice shelf. You know that to return to Hal Bluff will waste a precious day, so you decide to land on the ice shelf and start your mission from there. As the last of the canoe dogs are carried ashore, your guides tell you of the two possible routes to Ikea from here. The first route involves a 130-mile trek to Cloudmaker Mountain, and then, following the difficult terrain of the Viad Glacier, a further 100 miles must be covered before you arrive at the Ice Fortress. The alternative route involves a longer journey of nearly 180 miles into the Hrod Basin, followed by a trek of 100 miles through Storm Giant Pass to Ikea. Even if the weather and your luck hold good, either route will involve 10 days of hard trekking before you reach your goal. So visit the map of Kalte before making your decision. So, alright, let's check it out. So, alright, essentially... Oh yeah, we're there. Wait, we're there? Hal Bluff? Wait, Hal Bluff or the other thing? Oh my god, I am so dumb. Okay, no, we were at Ljuk. I am dumb, yeah. So, okay. Do we go for the Vlad Glacier, which is the hard route, but the shortest? Or do we actually take the shorter route, which is going to let us go through Hrod Basin and the Storm Giant Pass route at this point? Yeah. It's either this or this. So, alright, one vote for hard mode, one vote for playing it safe. What else do people want us to do? Alright, shortcut. So far, it seems as if we're definitely going on a hard mode territory. At this point, I'm just gonna wait for maybe one other... Alright, hard mode, let's go. Alright. Your transport to Ikea consists of 2 sledges, each drawn by a team of 6 canoe dogs. This sturdy breed is native to Kalte, and they make ideal sledge dogs. Their thick tawny coats and powerful chests, as well as their vigor and enthusiasm, even in the coldest climate, make them well suited to the work ahead. On board, each sledge is enough food and equipment for the mission. Your 3 guides, Irian, Fënor, and Dice, are all experienced trappers. They are skilled at survival in the icy desert and know the many unseen dangers. Once the dogs are harnessed, you and Dice climb aboard your sledge and signal to the other to lead the way. As you stare across the frozen expanse of the Ljuk ice shelf, you can see a white glare of the distant horizon. This is the Viad Glacier Wall, the point where the flow of ice meets the frozen sea. Through the crisp, clear air of Kalte, it looks no more than 6 miles away at most, but in reality it is nearer 60 miles away. You make good progress on the first day, and as darkness approaches, you decide to set up camp for the night. You halt inside a circle of ice pillars that have been forced upward by the constantly moving ice shelf. The sledges are drawn together and the tent is erected beside them. Once the canvas is secured and the canoe dogs have been settled for the night, you begin to prepare your evening meal. Suddenly, a terrifying roar is heard outside the tent. By the gods! Cry Hirian. A Beknar! Baknar are large, carnivorous creatures that dwell near the Kalte coastline. Their usual prey are gallings or the smaller ostril that live at the sea's edge. But this Baknar has been attracted by the scent of the dogs. It is about to attack and eat several of your sledge dog team. Alright, do we have hunting? No, we don't. Do we have animal kinship? Yes, we do. You can sense that the Baknar is desperate for food. Your Kai discipline will be useless, for you will not be able to order it away from the camp now that it has detected the canoe dog. However, you know that Baknar are fearless hunters, fearless except when it comes to one thing: fire. Grabbing a torch from a pile of equipment, you light it and race out of the tent. It is dark and snowing heavily, but a movement to your right betrays the Baknar as it lopes toward you. It is preparing to pounce when the sight of the guttering flames make it shriek with terror. A second later, it has turned and disappeared into the night. The canoe dogs are safe, but to make sure that the Baknar does not return, you agree to take it in turn to sit watch with a torch and a weapon. The following morning, you wake at dawn to the welcome sight of Fenor preparing a hot breakfast. He passes you a steaming bowl and you gratefully eat its contents. Then you begin loading the equipment onto the sledge for today's journey. It is a beautiful morning. The wind has dropped and the air is fresh and clear. The canoe dogs are strong and eager to be off, and for most of the day the ice is smooth and the running easy. By nightfall, you have reached CM Highland, a pinnacle of granite rising through the high shelf to a height of 400 feet. You make camp to the leeward side of the island in order to avoid the worst of the night wind. Alright, let's pick a number. 1, okay. The next day is bitterly cold. A fierce northerly wind blows relentlessly, beating your face and drying your lips until they crack and bleed. Your nose begins to run, but the mucus instantly freezes on your lips. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of falling snow that mutes the light. Snow mounds and small puddles in the ice become invisible, and the journey is often brought to a halt when a sledge overturns or jam. Great strain is put on your eye by the constant glare as you search for the rough ice on the ground, which is so hazardous. By midday, your vision has become a blur. Do we have healing? Yes, we do. You recognize that you're suffering the first effect of snow blindness. Unless you act now, the more painful symptom of this malady will soon appear. Do we wish to cover your eyes with a blindfold and keep them covered at least until we make camp later today? Or you don't like the risk of being blindfolded and prefer to risk snow blindness? Alright, cover up. Never underestimate ice and snow. Wear your mask. Alright, I think I see where this is going. Yeah, to be or not to be? What is the question? But yeah, cover. As the light gradually fades, a blizzard blows across the open high shelf and batters relentlessly against the tent. The flapping canvas and the pain in your fingers and toes are beginning to wear on your nerves. You wish you had never set foot in this icy hell. Then in the middle of the night, the wind rips away the edge of the canvas and the full force of the gale scatters your equipment and provision. You are forced to spend the rest of the night on your elbows, clinging with frozen fingers to the edge of the tent. Your sleeping furs filled with a half-frozen slush, and by dawn your clothes are stiff with ice. You lose 3 endurance points, make the appropriate change before turning to another chapter. Alright, no combat. Let's get a point of endurance back. The gale gradually dropped, the air clears, and the Viad Glacier is revealed in all of its splendor. The even surface of ice crystal looked like a carpet of snow glittering with gems of every hue: yellow, violet, blue, green, orange, and crimson. Yet the crystals are of such brilliance they will put any jewel in the shade. The ice wall rises over 800 feet, and for the main part, it is a smooth but very steep climb. Although the weather is fine, it takes the best part of a day to climb the glacier's edge. All of the equipment has to be unloaded and taken to the top of the glacier where it is repacked onto the sledge. The canoe dog do hardly anything but fight, and your food is so shaken up in the climb that a gruesome mush is all that remains of it. By the end, we are exhausted. With daylight fading fast, you decide to pitch camp in the shelter of a natural ice bowl and settle down for a much-deserved night's rest. And yeah, because we have healing, with every new section where there's not a fight, we get a point of endurance back. Alright, we got 4. Alright. Like, I think the next thing I'm gonna do is to get myself another monitor that is as big as my other one. For 3 days and nights, you fight your way northwards across the tortuous glacier. Fall, bruises, cut shins, awkward crevasses, razor-edge ice, and the constant bitter wind all conspire to sap your strength. However, you count yourself very lucky to have avoided a blizzard, and after a fatiguing trek, you eventually reach the shelter of Cloudmaker Mountain in time to set up camp there for the night. This huge mountain is over 13,000 feet high and shaped like a giant shark's fin. As the cold west wind blows around its peak, great plumes of cloud trail away across the Vegaden glacier. It is a strange phenomenon which gives the mountain its apt name. You soon find an ideal campsite among the shattered fissures of the rock-strewn base. Quickly the tent is up and you are under canvas once again. You have left the tent to answer a call of nature when you discover, purely by chance, the faint glow of torchlight from a small crack in the rocks above. Do we have 6 tents? Yes, we do. Alright. You sense the presence of someone or something lurking inside the fissure, although you cannot tell if their intentions are good or evil. Do we explore the fissure or do we return to the tent? I mean, maybe it would be bad if someone saw us pissing. It's like, my god. Alright, check it out, check it out. Get fighting and urinating at the same time. Great. Your enemy is susceptible to whiz, so therefore you get 2 combat skill. Alright, I'll wait and see if anybody have any diverging opinion to offer us. So far, everyone wants us to check out. Alright, let's check. Okay. You have climbed 15 feet to a thin ice ledge. From here, you have a clear view of the fissure. You think you have caught a glimpse of someone when suddenly the ice gives way beneath your feet and you fall headlong in a tumble of granite and snow. You prepare yourself for the shock of impact, but you plunge straight into a crevasse, hidden beneath a layer of powdery snow. You finally come to rest in the deep drift some 200 feet below the surface. Blinded, dazed, and half suffocated by snow, you begin to claw your way out of this icy grave. When you eventually free yourself, you're astounded by the sight that greets you. A vast corridor disappears into the distance as far as the eye can see. Huge stalactites of crystal hang from the icy ceiling, and the constant drip of melting snow fills the corridor with a strangely musical sound. You shout for help until your throat becomes dry and sore, but your guides do not hear you. You still have your weapons, gold crown, and any special item, but you are without a backpack as it is still in our tent. Looking up, you see that the hole through which you have fallen is now just a tiny speck in the roof of the passage. You notice that the strange light of the highest corridor seemed to come from large stone bowls hanging from the ceiling. These are Mlair bowls, a source of eternal light discovered by the ancients many ages ago. You soon realize that your guides may never find out where you are and quickly resolve to follow the passage in the hope of finding some other exit. After 2 hours of walking, you arrive at a junction where the passage split in 2. Alright, so good news, we found something interesting. Bad news, we lost our backpack. So, whoops. Alright, we have no items left. Sorry, everyone. Okay, after 2 hours of walking, you arrive at a junction where the passage splits in two. We have tracking. Your Kai discipline of tracking reveals that the right tunnel heads east and the left tunnel heads north. You are now directly beneath Cloudmaker Mountain. Consult the map of Kalte before you decide which tunnel to enter. I mean, right now it's kind of assumed that we're never gonna get back to camp. So yeah, we're at Cloudmaker. So at this point, hold on a second. Okay, do we go east or do we go north? It's like, do we go there or there? Okay, let's go north. After a few hundred yards, you find yourself in a huge cavern that spreads out in all directions as far as the eye can see. You have entered
the Caverns of Kalte,
and are now looking at a uncharted world that few Sumlending have ever seen. This massive underground labyrinth was constructed by the ancients many ages before the Sumlending set foot in Magnamond. Its wide avenues, temple, and arenas once echoed to the sound of a race of creature for whom the heist was a natural home. Malaire bowls still hang from the ceiling, baiting the caverns in their eternal light. You trek steadily northward for nearly 6 hours until you arrive at the bank of a fast-flowing meltwater river. On the opposite bank, you see a tunnel leading off into the distance. You can find no apparent way of crossing the deep water except by using the ice flows bobbing up and down on the surface. By jumping from one flow to the next, you could get to the opposite bank, but it will not be easy. You will have to jump at least 3 of the icy slabs to reach the other side. Alright, pick a number. If you have hunting, add 2, we don't. If your current endurance is less than 8, detract, remove 2. Okay, so we get no bonus or no malus. Alright, if the score is... Okay, 6! Running from the tunnel entrance, you quickly leave the icy river far behind. You follow the tunnel for countless hours as it bends its ways northward. It becomes impossible to recall what hour of the day it is. The perpetual half-light of these caverns never changes. Throughout fissures in the wall of the tunnel, you catch glimpses of other chambers, and you marvel at the sheer scale of the labyrinth. You are nearly asleep on your feet when you suddenly detect the aroma of cooked meat. It is coming from a chamber just a few yards ahead to your right. You're very hungry and you must soon eat. Do we investigate the chamber or do we ignore?
Meat!
Food! Check it out. You can see 2 men in rag clothes huddled together beside a fire that seems to be burning inside a small metal bowl. Over the flames, the skinned carcass of a small animal is roasting on a spit. The men are old and toothless, and they have a strange glint of madness in their slanted eye. Do we approach them in order to ask for their food? Do we attack them, or do we just ignore them and continue? Oh, murder, ask, attack, ask nicely. Alright, 2 versus 2 so far. We're split between murder. Okay, alright, let's ask. On seeing you enter, the 2 old men jump to their feet and flee from the chamber along a smaller passageway. Their screams of panic echo loudly throughout the caverns. You're very hungry and quickly consume the cooked animal, pausing only to spit out the bones. You then notice that the fire is burning in a strange, half-spherical metal bowl. The other half of the sphere lies on the icy floor nearby, and you find that both halves fit together perfectly. When you open it, you discover that the fire still burns inside. If you wish to keep this fire sphere, place it inside your jacket and mark it as a special item. Alright, let's go. Yep. Fire sphere. Alright, return to the tunnel. Unless you have just eaten, you lose 3 endurance points from hunger. Yep, we covered that. You continue along the tunnel for over a mile, but you soon become tired and stop to sleep. You awake feeling refreshed, but have no idea just how long you've been sleeping. The light of these caverns never changes, be it day or night. You continue onward, mile after mile, passing through a series of huge ice halls containing towering pillars of crystal. In one vast chamber, you are mesmerized by the beautiful sight of a shimmering crystal ceiling. But below this chamber lies an even greater spectacle. A narrow passage leads onto that ledge running around the brink of a huge chasm, over half a mile wide. As you hedge your way around this awesome void, you try not to look down into its windswept depth many miles below. You've been on the ledge for only a few minutes when a noise behind you makes you glance back. To your horror, you see you are followed by a monstrous two-headed serpent. Do we have either tracking or animal kinship? Yes. You recognize the serpent to be a Javik, a two-headed and deadly poisonous ice snake. As it slithers nearer, you can clearly see the open jaw of the second head and the yellow curved fang dripping with venom. It moves very quickly and you know that you will not be able to outrun it along this narrow ledge. Do we have a fire sphere? Yes. You remove the fire sphere from your jacket, quickly split open the two halves and place them upon the narrow ledge behind. The Javik hisses loudly, both its head waving and darting at you in rage. It is desperate to attack, but it will not approach the fire sphere. Instead, it attempts to slither around the flame, but the ledge is very narrow, no more than a foot wide. It cannot pass without singeing itself. Eventually, angry but powerless, the strange reptile resigns itself to failure and disappears back along the ledge and into the passageway beyond. You can now retrieve your fire sphere and continue your exploration. My god, everything is going so swimmingly right now. You reach a tunnel on the far side of the chasm and follow it for many miles. You eventually arrive at an enormous chamber, the ceiling of which towers 500 feet above you. An icy wind blowing through the many fissures that crack the ceiling whips around the hall. If you wish to search for a way of climbing up and out through the fissures, or do we just press on and look for an exit on the far side of the hall? Okay, press on. Press on, press on. Oh, climb out like Bane! Unless at the very next person want us to climb. Oh my god, we have daring people on the ranks. Okay, with that said, press on is definitely winning. Sorry to all of the daring. You discover a low passage that opens out into a cavern full of stalagmites. There are two exits in the opposite ice walls, both disappear into darkness. The snow around the entrances of both tunnels are many strange tracks. We have tracking. Alright, let's see what this is about. The tracks have been made by dangerous and carnivorous creatures called Baknar. If you run into them in the confines of a dark and narrow tunnel, your chances of survival will be very slim indeed. Although your Kai discipline has enabled you to identify the track, you are unable to sense which tunnel the Baknar occupy. Do we go left or right? Alright, right, left. Okay. Go left, go right, go left. Alright, I'll wait maybe for another opinion. Because, hey, right could still theoretically win this. Left is nature's right. Okay, let's go left. After a short walk, you arrive at the massive ice hall full of crystal stalagmites and stalactites. The floor is covered... wait, hold on a second. Okay, we still have the right thing. I'm just ensuring because I changed my settings ever since last time, so I just want to wish that it's smooth. The floor is covered with animal tracks and bones, yet the vast hall seems empty and still. You notice that the northern wall is a completely smooth surface of granite blocks stretching upwards to the high sea ceiling, over 100 feet above. You suddenly realize that you're staring at the foundation stones of Ikea. You have reached the highest fortress. Yeah, that's right. Here it is. The entrance to Ikea Fortress, aka where we have to go. Partially obscured by a large amount of crystals, you can make out a ramp leading up to a massive stone door in the fortress wall. Your discovery brings renewed hope. If you can gain entry to Ikea and quickly capture Vonotar, there's still time to reach your ship, the Cardinal, before the pack ice starts to freeze. Do we examine the stone door, or do we decide to stop and search the bone-littered floor? Alright, search! Let's go for bones. Okay, search. Sarash, search the bones. Okay, alright, let's go. You discover that many of the bones scattered among the stalagmites are of human origin. Shattered skulls, skeletal hands, and rib cages lie half buried in the ice. You're about to abandon your search when a small box made of carved bone catches your eye. Do we open the box or leave it alone? Okay, box, evil box, open it. Alright. The bone box contains a beautiful diamond. Its many facets gleam and sparkle, even in the dim half-light of the ice hall. In Summerland, a jewel of this size and quality will be worth thousands of crown. If you wish to keep the diamond, slip it into your pocket as a special item. Alright. I mean, yeah, let's do that. Diamond, and its effect is being rich, you. Alright, now time to check out the door. As you climb the slippery stone ramp, the sound of cracking ice makes you spin around. The large mound of crystal at the base of the ramp is beginning to move. The crystals are alive! You stare in disbelief as the mound is transformed into a writhing mass of crystal coil. The coils unwind and the ice creature slithers toward you. Do we evade the creature and run toward the stone door, or do we fight? Alright, get the fuck out. Fight. Fight it with your fire orb. Nut up or shut up. Fight. Alright, let's fight. Okay, alright. The strange creature is a crystal frostworm, a scavenging beast now living on the remain of the unfortunate creature that have entered the cavern. Its hard skin is almost transparent, and its internal organs can be seen pulsating inside. A large mouth opens in the crystalline head to reveal row upon row of jagged crystal teeth. Your back is pressed to the stone door and there is no way to evade the monster. You must fight it to the death. It is immune to mind blasts. Yep. The strange creature is a crystal frostworm, and you must fight it to the death. So, alright. Finally, it's time for combat. So, okay, at this point, yeah, we kinda need to... whoops. At this point, okay, we have 24 HP, the enemy has 30, and our combat ratio is 12 because of the summer sword. It's le broken, in order to put lightly into words everyone can tell. So now that we have our values, how does the fight go? Okay, 7. We deal 18 damage to the monster and we get no damage whatsoever. 1. Alright, deal 9 damage to the monster and we take 3 damage. Wait, 9. Okay, so it's 3. Whoops. And our HP has overflowed. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright, we take 3 more damage. But that's okay because the monster is also dead. Alright, victory has been acquired. Yeah, the numbers, they definitely did not roll in our favor. At that point, I'm blaming the Summer Sword. You watch with a mixture of fascination and revulsion as each segment of the creature shatters and then slowly dissolves onto the ice. Soon, all that remains of the crystal frostworm are the undigested content of its stomach. To your surprise, in the center of this mess of fetid flesh and bone, you can see the shank of an ornate silver key. Do we pick it up, or do we rather ignore it and just go for the door? Alright, let's pick it up. The key is coated with a corrosive digestive acid that burns through your mittens and attack your fingers. Lose 1 endurance point, you drop the key and plunge your hand in the snow to ease the pain. If you still wish to keep the key, you can wipe it in the snow before placing it into your pocket as a special item. So alright, silver key. A silver acid key. You now must search for a way of opening the door. Right, at this point we're getting our endurance back. The fortress door is completely smooth. There's no visible lock, hinge, or keyhole. However, turning your attention to the granite wall, you notice that one of the massive blocks is different to all the other. A small triangle is being cut into its surface. Do we possess a bluestone triangle? No, we don't. Alright. You search every square... oh, whoops. There's actually a fight. Not time to get any endurance point back. Okay. You search every square inch of the door and surrounding wall, but there appears to be no unusual feature. You are examining the stone ramp when a loud roar freezes your blood. A Kalte has entered the ice hall. You turn to see the creature bounding toward you. Its jaws are wide open, revealing its barbed tongue. You cannot evade the Kalte, and you must fight it to the death. Alright. Yep, it's a big old cat. What could possibly go wrong? So 10 combat skill, the combat ratio is 17, and we got 20 endurance point. But yes, people that have read ahead have definitely seen, hey, there might be something off with this fight. Because, hey, if you lose any endurance point during the course of this fight, turn immediately to a chapter. That can be possibly good. But luckily we rolled a 8 this time, so let's see what it is into the good old table. We instantly kill the monster and it deals no damage to us. Okay, good job. You win the fight without losing any endurance point. Go to 84. Yeah, if we lose any endurance point during this fight, it's an instant death because it's poisonous and you just die from its poison. You notice that the Kalte has a blue triangle of stone on a chain around its neck. Suddenly you realize the significance of this strange amulet. Grabbing the blue stone, you race back to the fortress door and press it into the wall recess. It is a perfect fit. Alright, blue stone triangle. Okay, as much as we didn't get any special item, this one book is pouring them out into the droves. You become aware of a faint tremor running through the ledge on which you are standing, followed by the grinding noise of stone upon stone. The door opens, but it has only opened 3 feet when there's a loud crack and it starts to close. Yep, it's Prince of Persia, hello. Without a second's hesitation, you dive into the fortress and hear the massive door crash shut behind you. The corridor in which you stand now is far warmer than the icy cavern outside. For the first time in many days, you can lower the hood of your cloak and remove your mittens without risking frostbite. You notice that the stone passage ascends to a landing where another passage branches off to the east. Malaire bowls hang at regular intervals along the arched ceiling, their unnatural lights illuminating the carved wall. As you approach the landing, you notice an archway leading into a small room beyond. A strange sight meets your eyes. Rag fur, pottery shards, and the debris of hundreds of years seem to have been thrown into this chamber. A large lever protrudes from the wall beside the archway. Do we enter the room to investigate the content? Do we pull the lever, or do we explore eastward along the passage? Alright, don't pull the lever. Pull the lever! Search the loot. Investigate. Right, anything else? At this point, we are dangerously close to investigating. Alright, investigate, let's go. After 10 minutes of searching the room, you discover an old fur backpack and a long coil of rope. You may take the backpack only if you do not already wear one. Alright, perfect. We actually did not have a backpack. The rope counts as 2 backpack items as it takes up extra space. Alright. Okay. There we go. Rope. Finally satisfied that there's nothing else of value in this junk-filled room, you leave and continue your exploration along the east passage. Oh, wait. We didn't even get an option in order to open up to pull the lever. What a jip. Either check the junk or leave the lever alone. Hey, lever, leave them kids alone. You soon reach the bottom of a flight of broad stone steps that ascend northwards to a landing 30 feet above. The center of each step have been worn smooth by the feet of the countless creatures that once inhabited the lower levels of cold Ikea. As you climb, you wonder how long you will remain undetected. I mean, personally, I'd say we've already been detected, but nah. So far, you had neither seen nor heard any other living soul in these deserted passage. You have the element of surprise on your side. You now pray that Vonotar is unprepared for an intruder from the depth of his own fortress. You reach the landing and pass through an empty hall toward the darkened archway beyond. Here, the passage splits and branches off toward the east and the west. You are hungry and you must eat a meal, otherwise you lose 3 endurance points. We don't have a meal, whoops. So, do we go east or west? Right, E. West. West. Alright, let's go west. You've been walking along the passage for less than 5 minutes when it veers sharply northward. Just ahead to your left, you can see a large stone door. The lever is up and the door is closed. Do we pull the lever and open the door, or do we continue? Alright, lever. Yep, it's time for the lever lovers to get a second chance with another lever. Okay, continue. It's obviously a trap. Alright. Alright, pull it. What can possibly go wrong? At this point, I'll see if anyone else have other inputs. Yeah, you walk several miles before realizing west is not a direction. Alright, give it a tug. Alright, perfect. The stone portal creaks open but grinds to an abrupt halt halfway across. The gap is a little over 2 feet wide and you're only just able to squeeze through to the chamber beyond. The air in the room is cold and stale. This chamber has obviously lain undisturbed for many thousands of years. Stone shelves are stacked high with bottles and flasks. On a table in the center lies a beautiful pack full of different colored potions. Do we examine these ancient potions, or do we leave the chamber and continue north? I know at that point we're... yeah, potions! Yep, I knew it. That was not even worth asking. Alright. The pack contains 4 ornate glass vials. They hold red, orange, green, and black liquids. Which one do you examine? You can only examine each liquid once. So, okay. What color? Okay, green, orange, orangeade, green again. Alright, 2 for green, 2 for orange. Oh, 1 vote for black. Another vote for black. Oh, 3 vote for black. Alright, let's begin with black. The stopper is sealed with wax. If you wish to break the seal, you must risk smashing the tin glass of the vial. Do you attempt to break the seal, or if you're suspicious and you do not want to break the vial, you can just leave it alone and go and check out the other potions. Alright, nope, nope, nope. Break it. I fear toxicity, leave it. It's a mysterious black liquid, what could possibly go wrong? Break it. Alright, let's break. The glass is very delicate and it takes all your concentration and skill to avoid mashing the stern. Alright, pick a number. If you have the Kai discipline of either Mind Over Matter or Mind Blast, add 3 to the score. Alright, we have Mind Over Matter, so +3. 2 plus 3 equal 5. Whoo, we barely break it. You managed to crack the seal in exactly the right place and thereby avoid smashing the tin glass stem. The vapor rising from the black liquid is sharp and pungent. Have we ever visited the graveyard of the ancient? Yes, we actually did. You recognize the pungent smell of distilled graveweed. This black concentration is a very powerful poison, and you quickly replace the stopper to prevent the noxious fume from escaping. Do we keep this as a potion? Because we can totally put it into our backpack. I mean, we have an empty backpack, so yeah, why not? Graveweed potion. Alright, let's go to another potion. Now, do we check any of the other remaining 3 potions? Alright, green. You managed to remove most of the hardened wax that covers the stopper and ease the reluctant seal from the fragile glass stem. Okay, we have animal kinship and we have reached the rank of aspirant, so alright. You recognize the aroma of concentrated gallow brush, or sleep tooth, as it is commonly called in Summerlun. This is the thorny briar your Kai masters once used to induce sleep when tending to ill or injured horses. This distilled brew made from the plant is a very powerful sleeping potion. If you want to keep it, put it in your backpack. So, alright. Sleep tooth. Okay, do we check the red and orange potions now? Melatonin in a bottle. Alright, orange. Okay, the stopper in this vial is jammed and you have to take great care not to break the slender glass neck. It gradually loosens and you sniff the orange liquid. We have both Sixth Sense and Weapon skill. You recognize the potion to be distilled aether, a potion of strength. Your Kai masters use aether to increase their combat skill in battle, and there's enough concentrated aether in this vial to increase your combat skill by 4. Ooh! For it to be effective, you must swallow it immediately before you fight. If you wish to keep this vial, mark it on your action chart as a backpack item. Alright. A letter for combat skill. Yep, there we go. So, alright, let's check red. Wiping the grime from the stopper, you unscrew it and carefully sniff the red liquid. Do we have healing? Yes. You recognize the liquid to be distilled loam spur, a herb of great healing property. This concentrated potion is powerful enough to restore 5 endurance points. Yay! So healing 5. We might as well call them by their name because at some point I know they're gonna say, "Hey, loam spur," instead of, "Hey, do you have a potion of healing?" So, alright, we got everything. So, hey, that pack was actually really cool. You notice that the ceiling and wall of the corridor are covered with strange carving. They seem to depict small cyclones or tornadoes, gradually changing shape into almost human form. Although puzzled by the strange hieroglyphs, you continue until you reach a point where the tunnel takes a sharp right turn. Only a few feet along the northern wall is another stone door. The lever in the wall next to it is raised and the door is firmly closed. Several yards further ahead, a flight of steps disappears upward. Do we investigate the door or continue up the stairs? Okay, door. Gotta go up. Investigate the door. Je sais que je suis, si je suis que je suis. Je suis ce que je suis, et si je suis ce que je suis, qu'est-ce que je suis? Ah, crap. Okay, door. Alright, it's 2 versus 2. Yeah, it's a French tongue twister. Alright, it's still tied somehow. Alright, door, there we go. Yeah, she sells seashells. You depress the lever and the cold stones and the stone door slides aside to reveal a large chamber. It is cold, stale, and empty, except for a granite chest lying near the east wall. Do we further examine this chest, or do we ignore the chamber and continue up the stairs? Like at this point, this whole book is a looter's dream come true. Alright. Wow, everybody is torn on this. My goodness. Okay, more loot. 2, 3. Alright, I'll wait for one more thing. Oh, alright. It's tie again. Like, come on, you gotta live up a bit. We aren't playing Dark Souls, we're playing Lone Wolf here. Alright, fight that mimic. Fuck yeah, let's examine it. The face of grotesque and distorted creature adorn the surfaces of the chest. Their obscene expressions and unnatural proportion makes you shudder with revulsion. Set into the center of the lid is a large stone block carved with a hideous face, the mouth of which is shaped around the keyhole. We have a silver key. Alright, let's use it. You insert the key and turn it clockwise. A click confirms that it works. Slowly, the shank of the key slips from your grip and disappears into the lock, and the great stone lids opens to reveal a magnificent silver helm. Okay, and we lost the key. Alright, we have 6 cents. Yep. Alright, you sense that this helm has magical properties that can aid you in combat. You detect no evil surrounding this item or the stone chest in which it lies. Do we wish to take the helm and put it on, or you're still suspicious of possible ill effects? Alright, yep, free hat. Too late. Alright. Despite its size, the silver helm feels light and comfortable. Mark it on your action chart as a special item. If you're wearing another helmet, you must discard it. We don't have a helmet, so perfect. And if worn during combat, it increases your combat skill by 2 points. Alright. point we're kicking ass and taking names now. I'd hate to see the fool that crosses us. The lid of the chest slowly closes and you leave the chamber, elated by your magnificent discovery. You continue along the corridor and explore the staircase ahead. You climb over 100 stone steps before arriving at a narrow landing. Alright, pick a number from the random number table. If we have 6 sense, tracking, or hunting, add 3 to the number. Alright, 5 plus 3 equal 8. Alright, to your right, you notice that a stone door is cunningly concealed by an intricate wall carving. A close examination of the carving reveals a lever. Do we wish to pull the lever, or do we just ignore it? Yep, welcome to the lever book, everyone. Alright. So, stone doors move slowly to one side. It reveals a narrow archway that is full of billowing and swirling mist, hiding whatever it is that lurks beyond. You notice a severe drop in temperature. Alright, we have 6 sense and we've reached a Kai rank of Guardian, which is having 7 disciplines. You can sense the presence of a powerful life force beyond the misty arch. As you concentrate, you suddenly recall a tale told to you when you were a small child. The legend of the Vegaden Gate. This was a tale of ice demons and how they once fought a war to be able to leave their world and come to Kalte. They were formless creatures without shape and substance and existed as pure energy in another dimension beyond the confines of space and time. The ice demons discovered the Vegaden Gate, a sort of door between their world and Magnamon. They fought each other to enter this gate, unaware of the fate that awaited them. The ancients had also discovered the gates. As the highest demons passed through the Vegaden, their spirits were imprisoned in crystals by the cunning ancients, who harnessed the power of the highest demons to build Ikea. The Mlair bowls that light the fortress each contain the spirit of lesser highest demons trapped within. You also remember that the tale warns against destroying the crystal prison. If an ice demon is released, it will seek to claim the body of its rescuer. Alright, forewarned by your Kai skill, you enter the Misty Arch. You enter a massive chamber, hill-lit and icy cold, a hidden temple of the ancient. The floor is made from slabs of quartz and granite and is littered with rock and ice. Your eye follows a line of tall pillars leading toward a sacrificial altar, set into an alcove in the northern wall. Upon this altar lies a strange statue, which seemed to be carved from smooth white stone. At its hidden feet, black staves rest upright in holes bored into the altar stone. To the left of the altar, there is a darkened archway through which a flight of stairs ascend out of view. Do we wish to cross the temple and advance toward the staircase? Do we cross the temple floor by stepping only on the quartz flagstone, or do we only step on the granite flagstone? Alright, quartz. Quartz. Alright. As you step onto the quartz, you sense a vibration that runs up your leg to the knee. You see that within the flagstone, a dull light pulsates and a humming sound can be heard emanating from the altar. With your heart pounding, you prepare yourself for an attack and slowly advance. You have taken less than 24 steps when a brilliant crackle of blue energy arcs between the two staves. You see the white statue beginning to move as if activated by the surge of power. Do we attack the creature before it rises from the altar? Do we remain perfectly still and prepare for combat? Or do we run for the darkened archway beyond? Alright, prepare for combat. Alright, the statue rises slowly from the altar and advances toward you. As it comes closer, you feel an intense chill radiating from its smooth, stony skin. However, its movements are stiff and uncertain. You could easily dodge its outstretched arm. Do we wish to attack it, or do we dodge it past toward the archway beyond? Right, jump it, dodge, fuck it up, dodge roll. Wreck a shit fight and dodge. Alright, I'll see. Okay, ninja roll. Alright, we dodge. As you pass through the archway, you notice a lever. Oh my god! This is Lever the book? What the fuck? As you pass through the archway, you notice a lever set in the dark stone wall. You pull it and a door slides across, sealing the temple behind you. The temperature is warmer and you can hear a low rumbling sound somewhere in the distance. Ahead, you can see a light at the end of a dark passageway. You discover that it is shining out of a oblong portal close to the floor, through which you can see a corridor 10 feet below. Do we squeeze through the portal and drop in the corridor, or do we continue along the passage? Okay, passage, portal, continue, portal, passage. Okay, passage seems to win. You advance into the darkness, feeling ahead with your weapon for any obstruction. For some distance, the tunnel continues northwards before turning sharply to your right. A few feet ahead, you can now see light streaming from another portal. Beyond this, a staircase descends into the dark. Do we look through the portal or continue toward the stair? Alright, gotta look, stare, take a peek. Peek, alright, let's peek. 20 feet directly below the portal, you can see a man dressed in a dark cloak. He's kneeling in the center of a large pentagram which is chalk on the floor of the dinghy cell. Do we want to call the man, or do we remain silent, leave the portal, and continue toward the passage? Hello, Mr. Cultist. Alright, yell at him. Leave. Get the fuck out. Don't. Bulk magic. Bolt out. Okay, alright. I guess we're just gonna ignore the guy. Yeah, tell him. Balls, balls, balls. At the bottom of the staircase, you discover a new tunnel going northward. You're about to follow it when your hand touches a lever protruding from the wall to your right. A closer examination reveals a secret door. Do we wish to open the door or continue? Yeah, what's your language? Alright, pull lever, door. Alright, let's go. The door slides open to reveal a wide, lit corridor running north to south. The low rumbling noise you detected earlier seems much louder here than in the darkness of the passage behind. To your left, you see a door, and in the distance, a junction. Do we investigate the junction, or do we continue exploring the dark tunnel? Okay, investigate, junction. Alright, sounds clear enough. On the west wall of the corridor, you see another stone door with a small spy hole cut into the center, revealing a cell on the other side. A old man is huddled on the far corner of the cell, his face and hair matted with blood and dirt. His blue robes are so filthy that the crescents and star embroidered on them are almost totally obscured. Do we open the cell, or do we ignore the old man and continue? Alright, open the cell, save the wizard, ignore demons. Alright, let's open. Upon my soul, a Kai Lord! He exclaims, his eyes now wide with astonishment. How I've prayed for freedom, for deliverance from this infernal place. And although hope never deserted me, I never expected such an illustrious rescuer. In the middle of his excitement, the old man is suddenly disturbed by a fit of coughing that leaves him pale and exhausted. It is a few minutes before he can speak again. My name... Wait, hold on. No, I don't have a good filter for old man. My name is Loy Kimar. I am an elder of the Magician Guild of Torin, he said, slowly removing a small crystal star pendant, the symbol of the guild, from beneath his tattered robe. The guild is known as the Brotherhood of the Crystal Star, and the magician shows his pendant as proof of his identity. You ask him how he came to be imprisoned here in Ikea, many hundreds of miles from his native Toran. Yep, here it is. Old man! Old man and star. And moon. Vonatar, that unspeakable wretch, is responsible for my plight. Days before the Dark Lord invasion of Summerlund, he betrayed your Kai Masters to win power, the black power of death and darkness. However, he failed to play his part in the war plans as evil masters had laid. The Dark Lords do not tolerate such weakness. Mercy has no place in their brutal minds. In the bitterness of defeat, they sought to destroy Vonatar for his crime of failure. Vonatar knew that I possessed the only means to effect an escape from their vengeance, for my guild staff has the power of teleportation. He tried to steal it and flee to the safety of Ikea by himself, but he learned that its power is not for all men to share. Only I am blessed with its secret. He was angry and would have murdered my kinspeople had I not agreed to bring him here, so I had no choice but to do so. Ever since, I have been a prisoner in this cell. Vonatar has tortured my body and my mind, but I have not divulged the secret of my guild staff, which he now keeps in the hall of the Brumalmark, for if I were to tell him, my life will no longer be of any value. You tell Loy Kimar of your mission and of the event that have led to your meeting. He offers to show you a route through Ikea to the hall of the Brumalmark, where Vonatar now resides as ruler, and if you can retrieve his guild staff, he promises to teleport you to the coast in time to rendezvous with your ship. For the first time since you fell in the Caverns of Kalte, you feel confident that your mission can now succeed. Do we possess a glowing crystal? No, we don't. Follow me, says Loy Kimar. I've listened to the sounds of Ikea for over a year, and the secret sliding doors and the hidden routes here are no mystery to me. I have learned more about these corridors and passages from the confines of my cell than Vonatar has discovered with all of his... with all of his cunning. Yep, sorry, the whole man is very gassy. He's been force-fed Doritos. You follow the whole magician through a network of secret passages and tunnels, up long flights of stairs and into chambers dark and cold. At the top of one very steep staircase, you come to a stone door. A strange, sickly smell is seeping from a small spy hole. The kitchens, whispers Loy Kimar, showing his distaste for Ikea cuisine by sticking out his tongue and grimacing. You can see that the secret door opens next to a fireplace in which burns a roaring fire. Hanging over the fire is a large stone cauldron of gruel. Two heist barbarians sit at a table nearby with empty bowls in front of them. Alright, we have both a potion of black grave weed and gallow brush, so which of them do you want to use? Alright, black. Green. Put them to sleep with the green potion. Alright. Anybody else has any feedback? Green. Alright. Looks like everybody wants them to go to sleep. Alright, we're merciful. Go with green. You take the potion from your backpack and carefully open the door just wide enough to be able to empty the content of the vial into the bubbling cauldron. Do not have to wait long for the heist barbarian to fall asleep after their meal. Alright, remember to erase that potion. Alright, sleep good. Alright. The kitchen is small and surprisingly well stocked with herbs. These are from the trading post at Lejuk, says Loikemar, peering closely at the label jar, several of which he crams into his pockets. Opening 2 herb jars, he mixes the content and offers them to you. "We'll give you strength, Lone Wolf," he says. You heat the dry leaves and feel a warm glow radiating through your whole body. Restore 6 endurance points. We don't have anything to restore. Alright. "We're on the same level as the Hall of the Brumelmark," whispers Loikemar, peering through a crack in the kitchen door. "It's at the end of this corridor." 2 Heist barbarians stand beside the jewel-encrusted door that leads to the Great Hall. They are covered from head to toe in strange bone armor and armed with crystal swords. The old wizard steps back from the door and says, "We must deal with them silently and swiftly." Takes 3 jars from his pockets and mutters a strange incantation as he mixes the content together in a stone bowl. There's a pitcher of water on the table. He splashes a few drops onto the herbs and wisp of blue smoke arise. "This will silence the guard if we can move it close enough to them." Okay, do we have camouflage? We don't. Do we have hunting? No, but we have mind over matter. You draw on all your powers of concentration to levitate the bowl of fuming herbs and send it hovering along the corridor. You bring it to rest in the shadow of the pilaster and watch its effect with great curiosity. For in less than a minute, the Heist barbarian guards have collapsed to the floor. "Now's our chance," whispers Loikemar, and he ushers you out of the kitchen. You approach the Hall of the Brumelmark undetected and discover that one of the magnificent jeweled doors unlock. Drawing your weapon, you gently push the door ajar and enter Vonotar's chamber. The Hall of the Brumelmark is a vast chamber constructed of crystal block rising to a central plateau. On this stands the Brumelmark throne as old as Ikayo itself. There, Vonotar sits, surrounded by the tomes and eldritch trapping of a necromancer. He is wrapped in study and does not see you enter the hall. You remain oblivious to your presence until Loikemar sneezes. "Who dare disturb?" Wait, hold on. I think I had a filter for that. I forgot what it is.
Who dares disturb me?
He hisses, rising from the Brumelmark throne, his eyes searching for an intruder. Upon seeing you, he emits a horrified gasp and fumbles for a black staff. He has the look of a criminal who's been discovered in the act of some dreadful crime. Quickly you raise your weapon and begin to climb the crystal pyramid. You know that you have little time to reach him if you are to overpower him and capture him alive. You reach the edge of the plateau in time to see a wide circle of blood descending around the throne. Between you and Vonotar, a deep moat is forming. Then from the depth of the moat, you hear a ghastly, inhuman gibbering. You brace yourself for combat, but are totally unprepared for the horror that now faces you. From out of the dark slithers a huge, ghoulish green monster. Its deformed head is a mass of tentacle and suckers that ooze a putrid black slime. As the center of this writhing mass, a hideous yellow eye pulsate. Vonotar has control over this monster and he is directing it toward you. Hello, handsome. How are you doing? Alright, do we possess an effigy? No, we don't. We don't have an effigy, but we do possess the Summer Sword. A tentacle horror rises from the moat and attacks you. You glimpse Vonotar raising his black staff and fixing his gaze toward Loikemar. He is attacking the whole magician with his mind force. You realize that if Loikemar is killed, the secret of the guild staff will die with him. Before you can do anything else, you must fight the monster to the death. This is an Acroneonor, one of the undead. So, alright, let's go. And he's a undead, so therefore he loses twice the usual endurance points. So combat skill, or combat ratio is 6. 50 HP against 24. Alright, let's go. It's time to roll well. We're on the time limit. Oh. Alright, so 1. How does this look? Alright. Monster takes 6 damage, multiplied by 2, that means 12 damage. And we take... how long? 4 damage. Alright, round 1. Alright, 0, 18 damage multiplied by 2, 36 damage. Alright. That was actually pretty alright. And a 6. Does that give us 6? 11 damage to the enemy. He's dead, and we take 1 damage. Alright, if we win the combat in 5 rounds or left, yeah, we won in 3. Okay. As the vile Hakroneor quivers and die, Vonatar breaks off mind combat and runs back toward the Brumalmark throne. Loikemar has badly shaken, but he has survived the ordeal. He quickly joins you at the edge of the moat and casts a handful of herbs into the darkness. Within seconds, a mass of vine and creepers coil upward to form a bridge. You are halfway across the bridge when Vonatar suddenly reappears, a crystal rod held high in his hand. He takes aim at the mass of creepers, and a shilling cone of frost hurtles at the rod's tip. Do we have the summer sword? Yes. You point the summer sword toward Vonatar's crystal rod. In an instant, the cone of frost arcs away from the bridge and shatters against the golden sword. You hear Vonatar curse you as once again the power of the summer sword saves you from his destructive magic. Your time has come! Shouts a voice, but it is Loikemar and not Vonatar who now speaks. A knot of herb flies through the air and hits Vonatar squarely in the chest. In an instant, the hunchback wizard is engulfed in a tangle of vines that ensnare him from head to toe. Loikemar bridges the moat with more creepers and joins you on the platform. Looks like you're fucked. Also, yeah, the summer sword is really fucking overpowered. Just a heads up. Be sure to remove his rings and amulets. Also, why does I sound like MC on Memusil? He says as he busily searches for his guild staff. He is a master of trickery. We will not want him to miss the special homecoming that awaits him in Summerlund. You marvel at the whole man's composure. After such a desperate fight, he seems completely unruffled. Ah, here she is! He announced triumphantly as he withdraws his guild staff from beneath the Brumalmark throne. You pass him your map of Kalte and point out the location of the Cardinal. I'll not be needing that, he replies, a little contemptuously. Maps are invariably wrong. I prefer to rely on my own sense of direction. The whole magician raises his staff and a dazzling beam of light shoots from its tip. He makes 3 wide sweeps on the air and the hall of the Brumalmark is transformed into an umbrella of color. As the color fades, you become aware of a sudden drop in temperature. You now stand upon the Lujuk High Shelf at a point less than half a mile from where the Cardinal lies at anchor. Loikemar and Vonatar are close by, both shivering in the chill morning air. Within minutes, you are sighted by the ship's lookout and a longboat is dispatched. As the wriggling Vonatar is hoisted unceremoniously aboard the Cardinal and deposited in the brig, the captain is the first to congratulate you on your skill and daring. But how did you manage to return so quickly? He asks incredulously. We were not expecting you for another 10 days. Let us say, interrupts Loikemar, that the wisdom of the Kai and the Lord of the Magician Guild can surpass the limitations of even time itself. A puzzled expression crosses the captain's face, but it is gradually replaced by a smile as he begins to understand the magician's curious answer. Your journey to Hanscaven is swift, but you're saddened by your memories of the brave guides that were left behind. Your arrival in the port is greeted by an anxious crowd. They fear that your early return is a sign of your mission's failure. When the news of Vonotar's capture becomes known, your warrior skills are required once again. This time in the defense of your enemy against the seething mob of Utraj Sumlending that assault Enskaven jail. Safe passage is eventually secured to Torin, where trial awaits the traitor. Upon the dawn of the feast of Maesmarn, in the depth of the guild hall of the Crystal Star, Vonotar the traitor is tried by his brotherhood and found guilty of all his crimes. He is led away in silence to the deepest chamber of the guild hall, wherein lies the Daziarn, a portal of total darkness, the door of an eternal prison from which there can be no escape. Also, my god, this picture is squish. What the hell? I remember this picture not being that squish. If anything, I thought it took 2 pages generally in the book. You are the avenger of his crimes, and it is you who cast the wretched traitor into the limbo of Daziarn. Your mission is now completed. You have survived the Caverns of Kalte and freed Summerlund from the menace of Vonotar. But the heat of battle and the challenge of a new and desperate quest awaits you in Book 4 of the Lone Wolf series, entitled The Chasm of Doom. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'd say this book went very swimmingly. At this point, I'd almost say, do we take a small break and actually tackle Book 4? Because, hey, it went, let's just say it went very, very well. Yeah, the lever quest. Yep, alright. Yeah, at this point, I kind of need to refresh the good old... yeah, pull a lever and see if you can take a break.
No, you must continue, fucker.
Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, water break. It's like I'm not even sure what that thing was supposed to be. Alright, in the meantime, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. At this point, I'm just gonna slowly prepare the good old preparations for book number 4. So, alright, I'll see you in a few.